obviously, high-level game, just like the last one. Ton of energy displayed by both teams, effort plays, multiple effort plays by Kent's guys, our guys, physical game, just a high-level college basketball game. We didn't win the first one. We won this one. My personal opinion, either game could have went either way. That's just my personal opinion. You have to ask Rob his. But, I thought it was a heck of a game. I thought guys really made plays, both sides, Kent and ours. I thought the first 20 minutes, first half, I thought we played really well. I'm like, gosh, we're up 2 points. We were shooting over 50 from 2, just under 40 from 3, 8 for 8 from the line, had 4 turnovers, 8 assists on 13 field goals. And then defensively, I thought we had played pretty well. And I'm like, wow, and that shows you how good they are. Then the first 10 minutes of the second half, I thought they were clearly the better team. I thought they were more physical. They kind of built that, anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3 possession lead that was pretty constant there for about, the middle part of the second half. And then I thought down the stretch we, got some big stops, made some big plays, stepped up to the free throw line, made free throws at a high level, took really good care of the ball, and found ways to score. Once again, 3 games in a row now, George wrote this, where we didn't have Cheese at Buffalo. We didn't have Jackson the last 9 minutes in the last game. And then today, the little fella, obviously we don't get it done without him, but it necessarily wasn't one of his, they did a nice job on him, so we had to find other ways to score and other ways to win. And, I give our guys credit for doing that.
To that point, Sirius have been struggling, not seriously, but they've been struggling his game recently. How much extra work did he put in? Because I noticed one day when I was at practice, ridiculous amount. Well after practice, he was shooting. And how do you think that made a big difference?
It does. It's interesting. I had Kevin Eastman come in and speak to our team in the offseason, and he talked about Ray Allen, obviously one of the game's greatest shooters of all time. And usually when you're not making shots, you ask yourself, and I got this from him, 3 questions. 1, am I taking good ones? 2, is there anything tactically I'm not doing with my shot? And 3, am I getting enough unrequired work in where I'm getting my reps and getting my shots up? And I felt like with all 3 of those things that especially the shot selection part and the unrequired work part have been through the roof, off the charts. A couple times he was drifting a little bit. We're trying to get his body a little more balanced. And but even that was slight at times. I thought he was getting good shots, had not made them at the clip that he's used to or I'm used to when it comes to him. And I just really, kept believing in him. And his teammates kept telling him to shoot the ball. They believe in him. I've always kind of had the motto, to keep shooting as long as they're great shots. My buddy down at Starbucks, Dorn, who's a dear friend of mine, was a golfer and loves to enjoys playing golf, said, hey, just tell them to hang in there till they get hot. And I've kind of adopted that saying. He gave me that a couple years ago. And as long as they're good ones, we want them to have that disposition.
What's the most important team, or most important thing for your team right now? To you going into
rest.
MAC tournament.
We just went 9 days in a row of practices and some high-level games and some important games. And my old boss, Thad, used to say, John, just remember, if you're tired, they're really tired. And so, I don't get tired very often. I think my senior associate AD back there, Carrie's back there, BD will tell you. And it's certainly when I do, I don't ever show it a whole lot. But I need the day tomorrow. I need a day tomorrow. So we're off tomorrow. And I got my family in town. I haven't seen my dad in forever. I'm going to spend time with him tomorrow. And I'm going to try to, get my mind and get us ready. Obviously, we'll know it's going to be one of 2 teams that we're playing. And we'll start some preparation. I may watch a little bit of film tomorrow. But I'm going to spend some time with my wife, my kids, my dad, and try to enjoy that as much as I can, get some rest, and come back with a lot of vigor on Sunday.
But for the tournament itself, what's the key? What's most important?
Getting your guys to understand that everybody's 0-0 starting Monday. They seed it, obviously, based on how you earned it, how you played, and all that. That's true. But that Season 1 and Season 2 are over. And whatever your record was in Season 1, which I call non-conference, and Season 2 conference, has I've lived it. No relevance whatsoever. You have to play well when your opportunity's up. Everybody's 0-0. So that's number one. Number two, then, if you do get the opportunity and luxury of advancing, surviving and advancing, because that's really what it is, you've got to be able to flip the script to the next game and get right to the next game and not make it about whether it was good parts or bad parts about your performance. You've got to move on, man. And you got to really be mentally tough to do that. So for me, I think those are a couple things I've learned over the years, but toughness is important. George, you got to be really tough because you want to talk about everybody knowing each other now. I mean, everybody knows play calls, tendencies, the whole nine. It's about who's got enough toughness to impose their will and execute their system with their players regardless of that. And that takes a lot of toughness.
In that regard, was this game, the way it was played, was it essential to they played tough all year.
Yeah.
But was it a game like this essential to imprinting that on them?
I think it helps, and you've been on this kind of theme here for a couple weeks, and I think you're right on that. I think the Buffalo game, the way it played out, the Ohio game, the way it played out today, we can certainly learn some things from that I think could really bode well for us moving forward if we are willing to be open-minded, learn from the things we need to get cleaned up and get corrected, and the things that we did well, continue to do those. But yeah, I mean, I think so. Now, what I will tell you is I'm concerned there for about 10 minutes. I just thought when I say punk, I mean that in a positive way for Kent. I thought they were more physical and took it to us for about 10 minutes. You do that in a game in March, start ordering Domino's pizza for spring break. You can't do that. You got to be tough for 40. I thought we were tough for about 30 tonight without watching the film yet.
In advance, anything happens everything can happen in March. But what is it? You mentioned that 9-day stretch of practice and games. How, if you take some time, but how do you get back to getting fresh for Thursday?
Well, I think obviously the fact that we've got the bye, we've got to find that balance, and it is a balance between getting rest, but also working to get better and having an edginess to you. That way you're ready when that ball tips at 12 noon on Thursday. So we've got a staff that's had some experience with that, and we'll try to see if we can push as many buttons as possible to make sure that we're ready to go on Thursday. But you're right, there's a fine line between overtraining and undertraining and finding that balance this time of year. And a lot of it's based on your team that you're coaching. I've always found each team's a little bit different, so you have to kind of use your instincts and your feel when it comes to that.
Is there a slot on Thursday you prefer?
Well, my understanding, they told me today, BD, we're playing at noon.
Yes.
Is that for sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was for sure during the game.
So I don't know if we have much of a choice. It's noon. I think it's noon.
I guess routine-wise, I'm sure you play some afternoon games like on a weekend, but on a Thursday at noon in an unfamiliar gym, how much more difficult is that? Does that make it more difficult, or is it just something everybody's got to deal with and you just...
I think one of the, we've had a couple 12 noon games, maybe just one, BD, one or two. At 2:30, no, this season. 2:30, 3, whatever. The one thing about it here, and I give Coach Dan Brock credit for this because I was going to change it because I never had practice in the mornings. We practice in the morning here. We practice, mid-morning, this time of year, mid-morning, when the preseason, it starts a little earlier. But he said, you'll love it and, keep it and see if you like it. Because I'd always been the guy, as a player and a coach that, noon to 3, 2:30 to 5:30, 2 to 5, 3 to 6, like always in it. But I do think that helps us in these situations. Our guys are used to playing early.
Game aside, just what did it mean to be able to honor the seniors, especially, most of these guys are guys, all of them really, are guys you recruited, brought here with you.
Yeah.
Team runs, what did it mean to honor them?
No, I mean, I love those guys. I mean, and I mean that sincerely, and that for them, I thought it was, pretty neat and special. For me, I'm going to love them whether we won or lost the game just because of who they are. But pretty cool for them to have a chance to win this league. And I said this on the radio. This is a really good league with really good coaches and really good players. And, to win it outright is hard. And so kudos to those guys, our whole team, but obviously we've had phenomenal leadership and play from a lot of those older guys. So I was happy for them.